Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button, get that bell notification on so you don't miss out on the next episode of Brockton County, an Ontario themed city. And make sure to hit the like button. The like button helps the channel a lot. Got a bit of a different video plan today. We're going to do some detailing around the city and some small upgrades as well. And if we have time, we might hit up some traffic issues as well. But we might save that for Friday's video because it seems like every Friday we're doing a traffic fix, and who knows, maybe we'll just stick with that. Because there's definitely lots of traffic problems with building a city from the ground up with light infrastructure. All right, so I wanted to start out this way today because of something that I saw in one of Imperial Jedi's most recent videos, and I thought it was a fantastic idea, especially in the month of June, and we are almost at the end of the month of June, and I wanted to make sure that I got this video out before the end of June because I think it is, it's a really nice idea to have in a city, and it's something that you see pretty often in cities nowadays, especially in the region that we are thematically building in. So first things first, we are going to upgrade this road right here on Queen Street. We're going to make it a 6-lane road, and we're just going to use the basic tool here. I'm just going to pause the game while I'm doing this because there are bus lines that are going to get jumbled up. So we're upgrading this to 6-lane road because along Queen Street right here, well actually first, before we get too far ahead, and I forget this, we should make sure we have dedicated turning lanes right along here, and I think I missed this one. Oh no, I didn't. Perfect. Just make sure that the straight and right are together when you're setting up dedicated turning lanes, and just gotta make sure that I am actually recording because I've made this mistake before. Yeah, all right. Sorry about that. And we are going to start using the intersection marking tool along here. And what we're going to do is, instead of actually doing the intersection here, we're going to go along the street, and we're going to click the segments here. So I'm going to click the segment here, and as you see, just if I zoom out maybe a bit, it comes up with these little dots here, and what you can do is you can go to fillers, Control-Shift-F, there we go, and they turn into little red dots. And the idea here is we're going to kind of create a box along each lane, and then we get to decide what to do with this lane. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to solid here, and we are then going to go to color, and we're going to change the color to, let's try to find a bit of a deeper red. That's a good color right there. All right, and then we're just going to continue on. So again, Control-Shift-F. I'm going to go to the next box over. And 100% of the credit for this video is to Imperial Jedi, who is another City Skylines YouTuber. I'll link his channel in the description, and I will also probably have a tag pop up at some point around now over here in the top right corner. So we're going to go to solid, and then we're going to go to an orangey color. I saw his video the other day and thought it was an absolutely fantastic idea. I'm actually just going to go back to this one and make it a bit more of a red, because I want to distinguish the two. All right, and then we're gonna continue on with fillers here. We're going to, ooh, it's not a filler. Come on, Control-Shift-F. Oops, there we go. Pop it up, and then we're going to go to a yellow. Here we go. Oh, gotta go to solid first. This is a fantastic idea, and I'm really glad that he made this video because it inspired me to make this tutorial video, I guess, on how to do this on your roads. And I just really respect that, and I wanted to implement this in my city as well. All right, so Control-Shift-F. Seems like it doesn't like it sometimes. There we go. And we are just going to try to do this underneath the bus here because the bus is in the way. All right, so solid, and then we are going to go to green. Ooh. Let's slide that up to green. And I think that's a good color right about there. Yeah, that's nice. And then we'll go back to fillers here. Control Shift F. Oh, didn't like what I was doing. All right, Control Shift F. There we go. And we'll box off the lane again. All right, so solid. And then we are going to go to blue here. And we'll slide this up to about there. A good blue. It's pretty good. And then we will continue on. We'll go back to fillers. Control Shift F. Awesome. So we'll go to solid over here, and then we will try to find a nice violet. That's really nice. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click this button up here, which is copy markings. And then we are going to leave the intersection marking tool, come back, and we're going to click this one, which is paste markings. And it fills it in. So we're going to do this a couple more times, just along the streets that we upgraded. And there we go. So Queen Street now has a Pride Street part of it, and it's right in the downtown of Pakenhampton, which is going to be probably a major urban area of the city. And I thought this was a perfect place to get a Pride Street in this area, and it works really well with 6-lane roads because there's 6 colors in the rainbow, and it flows perfectly. Plus, by doing this right here, this is kind of the main intersection. We have High Street right here, which is I know earlier I said you should throw a suggestion out there for a name of the street, but I actually want to keep High Street because High Street is a term that is used in British countries, or in Britain, I guess, and in other British subsidiaries. That means like a main commercial area, and this is kind of a main commercial area because if we click this area, or this tool right here, we have a lot of commercial development over this way, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to kind of keep this name High Street, because I think we'll just continue growing this area up a little bit. All right, so the next thing I wanted to see is if I could actually squeeze another 6-lane road in here. So I'm going to upgrade it like this, and then we're just going to try to squeeze in this a bit farther. So we're going to move the parking lots together like this. We'll let the game sim up so that we can see. Yeah. And then we'll move this over. We might have to lose some zoning here, which is totally fine with me. I'm just gonna pull off one strip, and we'll kind of let the sim go for a little bit, and we'll connect the 2 billboards for this asset. And in a second they should jump together. Yep, nice. And then we'll pull this over ever so slightly. So that tree looks like it doesn't want to be there. There we go. So we got most of the trees off the sidewalk, just kind of what we're going for. And we still have some commercial zone that can be filled. We can actually probably bring the commercial zoning a bit farther, but since it's not on that side, we will leave it. And we're actually just going to get some dedicated turning lanes here as well. And this doesn't need to be a 3-lane road at all, but I wanted to ensure that we can kind of make like a bit of a plus here. So I'm actually just going to make this a double right. Actually, we'll just say turn either way, because it doesn't really work lane mathematically here, but perhaps what we can do is this is actually a 2-lane road. So what we can do is we can actually just upgrade this to perhaps a 4-lane road. Here we go, 2 unit, 3+ lanes, and we'll just grab this one right here, and we'll upgrade. We might lose this rock here, so I'm just going to move it over for now. There we go. Ah, darn, yeah, see, with these trees now. Okay, so we'll just have to go back to what we had before, which was the grass one, because now the trees are actually just on the grass, and it works. And we'll just kind of let that be with the lane mathematics not being exact. But that's fine. So we'll get some yield signs over here and over there as well. We could probably just make this a traffic light. So why don't we just use the standard traffic light for now? And in the future, if we need to upgrade that at all, we can. All right, so we'll go back to the intersection marking tool here. We're going to click this, and we're just going to click paste. All right, so with that in mind, the next thing we need to do is move this post office. And we're just going to move it right here. And I know there was already buildings there, but I need to repurpose the street. And you know what? It works pretty well there. All right, so we're going to go back to our 4-unit road. We're going to find that same, actually we probably already have it up, so let's do that. I'm going to pause the game because I want to make sure that the zoning stays pretty nice over here. And with that in mind, we can actually probably look at getting some high density in here, but I just don't think the city's ready for that at the moment. So perhaps, oh, that was the 4-lane road. Oh, silly me. Let's go to the 6-lane road. 4-unit 5+ lanes. Oh, geez, silly. Okay, and then we will click this and paste. Awesome. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the node controller here, and we're just going to go to this offset. And we're going to scroll it in. So 15 meters is the closest we can get it, and the reason why I want that is I want a bit of a tighter interchange here because we have so many wide lanes, and we don't really need that. But then we're going to go to the node controller over here, and we're going to widen it a bit. Let's go to 15 again. How about that? That works with me. And I think this looks pretty nice. We will also go to the node controller on this side. And I'm just going to readjust this to 15 because I noticed that the colors were a bit off. And I'm actually going to pull this one down. There we go. Very nice. Oh, the colors are a bit off again, so we might have to just live with that intersection being a bit different than normal, and that's fine. So I'm just going to punch in 15, and there we go. All right, so with that in mind, we have a bit of a power issue. So I did implement a bit, I did add in a windmill just to kind of get us to this point so we could do this right away. Oh, interesting, it kind of despawns, and then we zoom in. Neat. Okay. Well, we're going to throw in another coal power plant because we're not ready to expand our power grid beyond that capability at the moment. And then we also have a ton of industrial demand. So I'm just going to kind of meet that need and zone in a bit, but only in places where we've already kind of established industry at the moment. And I will leave further industrial expansion for another time. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little build right now, and happy Pride Month to everyone. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to this library over here, which June is also Indigenous Peoples Month, and with the horrible news that's been coming out in Canada about residential schools recently, we also need to acknowledge the issues there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's probably pretty easy to find in the news, and I don't want to mention it too much farther on this channel, but please look into residential schools if you haven't already. If you're not from Canada, or if you are Canadian and don't know about that situation, it is heartbreaking. So in honor of Indigenous History Month, we're going to also do something in front of the library, because for some reason the fillers isn't working, because it's all of our duties as citizens of the world to educate ourselves about what has happened in the past. So we're gonna go to orange here. Oop, and we're gonna go to solid, there we go. And we're going to make this street a bit of a darker orange. That's good. And then we will continue on, so we're gonna do that. Control Shift F. Not working. So it's a bit of a different episode than normal, but I hope you understand and know and acknowledge how important this is to show representation. Okay, so that looks like that color matches. And then we are also going to continue. Oh gosh, this is actually a bit interesting. I'm clicking it perfectly, but it just doesn't want to apply. Alright, so then we're going to go back here. I'm going to go to an orange again, and we're going to try to color match. Oops. Solid. That looks pretty good. And then we're just going to click off and back onto fillers, because I've noticed that that worked the last time we were trying to do this, but Control Shift F, come on. There we go. There we go, okay. And we will go to solid here and pull it to an orange. And we'll try to color match, perfect. And we're just gonna click copy markings, and then we will, oops, come on, here we go. Oop, and perfect. Okay, so a bit different, but I think towns in Ontario specifically are starting to add colors to their streets and brighten up the city, and I think this is a good opportunity that we can kind of show this in our city as well. And again, shout out to Imperial Jedi for kind of inspiring this build and showing everyone in his tutorial video on how to make this beautiful street. And what he did in his is he made a boulevard. We've kind of made a full intersection as well, and we've extended it to an orange street for support of Indigenous Peoples Month as well. All right, so now that we've done that, we're gonna kind of go over some other things in the city, and thank you for all the suggestions in the comments. And what we're gonna do is we're going to come back over here and we're gonna rename some streets. So this bridge right here is a pretty major bridge in the city, and we're having some talk in the comments section down below, so please leave some comments, because we love, or I love discussing the city and coming up with theories about how the city kind of developed over time. And we have a garbage issue. Oh, that's just the normal ones. This one isn't full yet. It's almost full. Okay, well, we'll let it go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take Sabrina Street here, and we are going to name it Bathurst Street. So the town that this bridge goes into is called Batherston, named after a man with the last name Bathurst, who was very important in for the British in the War of 1812. And there's lots of street names around the former British Empire with towns or street names named Bathurst. And we thought that, well, thank you, Glenn, in the comments for suggesting this. He thought that this was a fantastic idea to kind of make this bridge Bathurst Street, because this would have been the old way into the city before the 401 was built. And I think it works perfectly. It looks fantastic. It makes total sense historically as well for this kind of build that we're doing. And one thing you can do is just to make sure that the street names continue. So you click this right here, and it shows you where the streets kind of end. So if we wanted to, we could end Bathurst Street right here, for example, and make this street a different name, but we will continue that. And then we can also theoretically end it at the bridge, but we'll take Bathurst right to here, for now at least, because we can clearly continue that in the future. All right, so we got Bathurst Street in, and we also got some other great names for some street names, but we're gonna save that for a new build. I want to kind of create a new neighborhood. One of the suggestions was Canadian province names and Great Lakes names, and I think what I want to do is I want to save that for like a new city, or maybe even once we start building the downtown. So I believe that was Johnny. Thank you, Johnny, for the suggestion. When we build the downtown, whether it be over here or over here, I think we'll name, instead of naming them the streets like first, second, third, we'll name them after the provinces, and Great Lakes, and maybe even some prime ministers. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at detailing the Bathurst and Boardwalk a bit more. So we are almost there with visitors, but we need to improve pedestrian activity in this area, and which is really frustrating because it's such a great park. But the thing about making it a nature reserve is that it's not attracting as many people as we were originally hoping, right? So we are almost there. It's only 40 people. So as we wait for this, because it could be any second now, and I'm sorry, I'm just checking that. What we're going to do is we're going to detail over here a bit more. So what we did is we created this little path right here, and we didn't want to include, we didn't want to include this as a part of the money payment system to get in, because it just doesn't make sense for a city to kind of put a gate right here, and especially with the nature reserve aspect that we're kind of going for, those gates just don't work. So we were kind of hoping that this would kind of count, but we don't know if it is or not. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull open the Parks tab. I'm going to go into the City Park section, and the reason is because I want to get this food truck, which is an asset. And again, thank you, Glenn, for suggesting this. I think food trucks would be a fantastic addition right here. So it does seem to be kind of glitching into the ground a bit. So perhaps what we can do is we can have one right here, and then have a second one over this way. So make sure it's not glitching in the ground too much. Awesome. And then we also have this little cart right here, Pop Soda. And I think what we'll do is, so we can't even really put it in the middle here, can we? Well, I guess we'll try to get it right here. It does look like it's glitching a bit, but I think if we build it right here, we might be able to just kind of grab it with this, because it is a prop, and raise it up. Perfect. Okay, so we'll grab that one too then, and raise it up a bit. And this way we have like a permanent stand right here. Perhaps instead of Pop Soda, it's Beaver Tails, which is like a classic Canadian street food. All right, and then we also have this one, which is more of like a newspaper stand. Perhaps we remove this food truck here, and we kind of do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Move It here, and I'm just going to click Delete, and then I'm going to grab both of these and just move them over ever so slightly. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We got the food truck. All right, so now we just need to kind of add in a few more details. So what we're going to do is we're going to... Ooh, cannons. Oh, fantastic. I love the cannon. Yeah, but is that really the spot? It's kind of right in the middle of the street here, but I don't know. It looks pretty cool. Put a cannon right there. And then we kind of lift it up. Yeah. Cannon. And okay, so I wanted some trash cans and stuff over here as well. So we'll just place a couple trash cans. And we'll get a recycling can as well, which I think I placed first. And some picnic tables as well. We'll get some of those kind of over here. And then I think there's a different type of picnic table over this way. Yeah, so we'll get these ones over here. And yeah, I think this works. I like how one of them's off-centered, like someone had dragged it a bit. And I think we'll kind of, we put an info sign somewhere. Yeah, just like that. All right, so that's a nice little detailing of that little area there, and we're almost there. We'll get there eventually. It's a level 3, but we did have another suggestion, which was to kind of build a pedestrian bridge across here, which will be difficult to do, but I think it would greatly increase the traffic through here because people would want to walk this way instead of walking around or taking another method of transport, right? But it does look really nice. I like the older path and then the newer bridge as well. So what I want to do is I want to try to use one of the new bridge assets, and I think the European bridge would work best. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to use move it here, click buildings, and I'm just going to move this over for now, right to here. Then I'm going to do the same for this side. Just move it over here for now. We're going to use, they're running to it. That's funny. We're going to use this pathway to kind of build out from. And then we will end the episode for now. Alright, so we're going to turn collision off for this because I really want, let's do bridge here. Oh, I guess it already is a bridge, right? So let's just make it elevated. I really want to make sure that this looks nice still. So we're at 14 elevation right now. Probably need to dip down, so I think I'm going to start on the other side because the other side's much lower. Alright, so I think that works. We'll kind of look at it. Is there railing? There is railing, okay. And we didn't go in the right direction. Okay, well, we will just do that then, and need to go in this direction here. So I think what I'll do instead is I'll just kind of connect it up, and then I'll change the heights a bit afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to select nodes only, and I'm just going to say get to this height. Okay, so it is a bit steep, isn't it? Alright, so I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to raise this side up a bit. And then I'm going to have to grab all the nodes from there. And I'm going to say all of them need to be the height we just established. Uh-oh, we got trash problems. And then this one specifically can be higher. Okay, and then we're going to turn collision off. And then we're just going to touch it and then press Control Z. Oh. And I actually kind of want a different, I want a new node in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use that to create a new node. And then now we have an extra node in here. So I think what I want to do is raise this one ever so slightly. Yeah, so it's a bit more of a slope here. We'll turn collision off again, and then I'm just going to touch it, and then hit Control Z. Awesome. So we're going to turn them all on again because I just want to try to grab this little brush or bramble. And now we have a nice little bridge across here. Then we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to touch the node, boom, Control Z. Then we're going to grab the bramble, or whatever it's called, little shrubs. Come on, there we go. Move it over. And then we also have one over here, which will move over. All right, very nice. So now we have these, which I think can be perfectly placed as little lookouts from the bridge. Yeah, it's very nice. I think we can lower it ever so slightly. Could probably straighten it out a bit, like that, and then move it over. Nice. And then we'll do the same thing for over here as well. So we'll bring it out like that, and then we'll lower it into the ground, and we'll just, oops, there we go, bring it over like that. Okay, so we have a nice little bridge. It's oh no, not you, Siri. And it's pretty flat, and then it starts sloping upwards ever so slightly, but it's really a very gradual slope. And then we're just going to add in a couple trees, if it'll let us, over here to kind of fill in the space a bit. And then we'll do the same over this way. And I think this one would probably need to be elevated a bit more too. Hey, look at that. And we've hit the next milestone, which we'll kind of touch on in the next episode or in a future episode as well for the park. All right, so we have some trash problems, so that's the next thing we're going to solve. We're going to throw in another landfill for now. And then we're going to grab this road here, and we're just going to hold Alt down just so we can pull it out ever so slightly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an incinerator right here. And I know it's pretty close to the highway here, but that's okay. We'll use move it, and I'm just going to move it over. All right, so it's not as close. This is just temporary. And the idea here is I'm going to have to turn all these back on now, is that the incineration trucks are going to, oh, we need water out this way. Check where the next pipe is. The incineration trucks are going to grab the garbage from this area. They're probably going to go out and help recover the city from garbage right now. But this is pretty dirty stuff, and we're going to have to move this eventually. We are doing this on a vanilla style. Otherwise, we could just, once these fill up, you can just use move it, click it, and delete it, which is a bit of a hack. But we'll kind of let this go for now, and we'll catch you in the next episode when we do some more city building. And who knows what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna extend this out into another bridge, and then maybe look at developing a residential area over along the shoreline maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I was more focused on getting this done. So hope you have a great day, everyone, and I'll catch you next time. Find a nice view. Perfect. Peace out.